Charlie, I may flip it to you since you have Roku Channel Remit and Exchange on it. How do we come up with a model where programmers, distributors all share in the revenues?
I
And
mean,
again, those revenues still being realized, but
yeah, I'd say we're at Roku, and specifically in the Roku channel. I think we're over the last couple years a lot more open um, to the ability to surface that inventory, those audiences, et cetera. I mean, our philosophy at Roku is we want advertisers to find success, however they deem success. Maybe it's acquisitions, maybe it's household reach and frequency, something, right? And so our job is really to make those moments matter, and give them that ability for them to be able to bid on the audience they want, on the programs or the genre that matters, because context matters. And I think that's the cool thing about TV. And so we bring all that together, really with that idea. And so what our philosophy is to make sure that we're hydrating these requests with what are signals we find that are valuable. Sometimes it's transparency. People want to know where they're delivering ads to. They want to know if it's live or not, if like the genre, content rating. And so we kind of bundle all that stuff up together and send it out. And in the Roku channel, we allow our publishers or our content providers to also monetize there as well. And so, yeah, our goal is to make sure that everything is mutually beneficial, and we're able to reward users with great ad content and make sure the advertisers are driving their outcomes. Most of our capability is based on Tony's work at the IB. We really want to make sure that we're using the open RTB standards. There's a lot of semantically relevant fields there. We want to follow the great media standards and video standards and technical standards that Tony's group has developed. And so, yeah, I'd probably pass it over to Tony. I mean, this is kind of everything's based on the IB Tech Lab capabilities, at least from our perspective.
is that a question you're just giving a nod to
Giving a
the
nod for sure. I think there's obviously ways for us to improve, but yeah, I think that's the really important part is we want people to be able to buy in the moment, recognize the content that matters.
Yep.
And I think it's also really important because it's kind of a zero-sum game a little bit. Somebody like a Procter and Gamble or an Allstate or State Farm, even like small brands, like they all have objectives. They're looking at things globally, not just isolated to a certain channel. A lot, for example, will say, hey, I want to reach a household 3 times per week. I want to do it globally. And obviously, I think the Roku inventory is really valuable for that, but we're not the only place that they're buying. And we want to make sure that we're going into that mix. And like I said, bringing in the great content that we have and meeting the advertisers at their objectives. And I think that's how we all get rewarded.
Yep. And I'll come back to that in a sec. Real quick off the top, you have any of the revenue? And if you can't say it, let me know. How much is data-driven addressable versus non-addressable?
Actual?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
man.
lack of a better term. Or you can
I don't think I have the
not.
numbers off the top of my head. I know from our perspective, from what I've seen, most people that are coming to us, it's more than just the GRPs and the gross rating points. It's more than just kind of this program has this like makeup. Most of it is based on addressability at a household level, mostly. But I think most of the investment that we're seeing is through addressability versus contextual only.
Okay. I'm going to fill in the role of the publisher, having played one in real life and on TV as well. I think, and Charlie and I didn't rehearse this, but, I will say there was a decent amount of friction with Roku and publishers 3 to 5 years ago. And I think Roku, I don't think Roku was a first mover. And as such, they came in and they were the first operating system and they were monetizing. And as a first mover, Roku's iterated. They share their ID, Rita, very freely. As a publisher, it allows a publisher to monetize better. So getting back to kind of the subject here is, there's some distribution platforms, walled hedges, we'll call them right now, who are more transparent in passing identifiers. So I might have said that ahead of time, but Roku's I think through experiences is realizing more harmony with it, with its content providers. So,
Yeah.
which is really relevant.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, our philosophy in working with our content providers is that we want them, if you're an app, if you're a publisher, et cetera, we want them to be able to find success. So we are committed to like providing things like Rita, which is our identity for advertising. I think it's a really valuable IFA. And a lot of people use that to be able to monetize and make sure that, you know, they're reaching the right devices, et cetera. But yeah, we're all about the mutually beneficial. Um, you know, and I think that's the cool thing for me, at least in my position at places like the Roku channel. It's no longer just like, let's say Peacock over here, Roku channel over here. There's a lot of competition. I mean, you saw it with our new fronts. You just saw it with the Olympics, where we had the NBC like Olympic zone. Yeah, our goal is to make sure that everybody's finding that success in the moments that matter. So yeah, we're fully committed to people to being able to find monetization on our platform.